Hello everybody, this is my second try. My computer just glitched, so I'm not very happy about that. I've lost the video, but I will try it again. Um, the first question is, using a relevant topic of interest to you, describe how a public meeting would be structured for each step in the ladder of citizen participation. I've actually been involved in some of these public meetings that involved citizens coming together with government officials, and started out in a group called ABC, or Ashland Boyd County, and it was focused on the drug abuse in our tri-state area. And it started out kind of with the mayor and even the county coroner and different government officials and city officials coming in and speaking to the citizens about the drug problems and what they were doing to quell some of the symptoms of it. There was very little participation from the citizens. It was more of a informational. Sometimes it even took the form of a lecture, but that was more of the manipulation and the therapy of it, the non-participation type, the first two rungs of the ladder. But interestingly enough, it became and started progressing up the ladder, kind of itself taking another form. We actually renamed it PAR, People Advocating Recovery, and it became the informing and the consultation and the placation of it, the tokenism that made it into a meeting where both sides of the fence started speaking to each other. So the citizens did have a voice. They didn't have any power in the matter. It was more of a false or a pseudo listening by the government officials, but they were acted like they cared, and it continued to move on up. But really, the citizens didn't have much power. But then we decided to kind of vacate the government officials. It was around election year, and people were just getting ridiculous, and it became a ploy for campaign more than it was uh, an activist group. So it really went all the way grassroots at that point, and became something that citizens demanded to have a voice, and we started to plan different events. And what happened was, because we had started with the non-participation in the tokenism stages, and we had got these officials around us, once we started planning events and taking it on our own, we knew them and we could contact them. So it ended up becoming a partnership, and we actually did have power, and even were endorsed by some of these government officials in our town to be able to actually have some power behind what we were doing. Uh, they would even help and sponsor it financially, and it became something that was powerful, but it didn't begin that way. And it climbed up all the way almost to the top. I mean, of course, we didn't have all the control. We weren't, consulting every day for these issues, but it became a strong partnership, I would say, in that sometimes even the county coroner continued to come to these meetings just to attend. So he kind of took the back seat in the matter and just came to see what we had going on, because he was interested in doing it. And it kind of was a role reversal of where it started out the government officials talking to us, it became us talking to the government officials. So it was interesting how it went through this process, and really took on a different form at the end than it started to be. Group three's question was, according to Bond, how are power and resource differences expressed in research? What can we do to remedy these differences? The researchers seem to have more power, although the participants have information that the researcher needs. So they both have power, it's just different power. I think one of the main things to look at is to not ignore any of these differences. And at work, we're involved highly with community partners, and even with these nonprofit agencies that I've been involved with, there's many different opinions on how to fix or quell the symptoms of drug addiction. And in order to research that, which we put together surveys and different things for events and to kind of build momentum behind the cause. And going into those, of course, there's different opinions when you work with churches and mental health facilities and social workers and the jails and police officers. Everybody has a different look at what addiction and its answers look like. And it's important not to leave any of those out or exclude any, but to take them holistically and try to build together a bigger picture, more than just singling out certain viewpoints and running with those. It's important to take all of it into account and not discriminate against people's views and their thoughts on how to help these afflicted people. And we've seen that when you do that, it actually works a whole lot better than when you don't. And part of that is building rapport with all these groups and getting together and networking and really getting to know the people behind these different viewpoints. It kind of gives you a broader view of it all. That's my post. Thanks.